There you go. All right. So first thing I do, gentlemen, is swear you in. So go ahead and raise your right hand. You swear or affirm any testimony that you give here today would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Michaelick, it makes a lot more sense for me to start with the officer. They have the burden to establish to me why you were issued a citation in the first place. But after that, you'll be able to either ask questions or testify on your own behalf. All right?
Yes, sir.
And so with that, officer, if you want to pick up the narrative somewhere where it makes sense and explain your issuing of this citation.
On May 6th, I was traveling southbound on North Main Street. Ahead of me was the defendant, and I could observe him passing one vehicle in front of him that were also turning right onto West Superior Street. He pulled into the parking spot on the street to go around the vehicles in front of him and made the right-hand turn on the red light. I was able to catch up with the defendant at the Speedway in Wayland and made the traffic stop there.
All right. Mr. Michaelick, what is it you wish to tell me?
Okay. I got an illegal passing on the right because I crossed over into, like he said, the parking. I crossed the white line of the unused parking spot at the time. So I
Yes.
didn't necessarily think
That's
that
not a lane of travel, so you can't use it as a lane of travel.
I understand that. I wasn't necessarily using it as a lane of travel. I was using it as I see people do it countless times throughout the day. It's discouraged but not prohibited to cross a white line in a safe manner.
Okay, but here's the problem. The other cars that's sitting at that red light, right? If they were indicating, well, first of all, please stop smoking. You're in court, right? If we're in the courthouse, you wouldn't be smoking, right? Mr. Michaelick, I'm not talking to the officer. He's not smoking. You're smoking. Please stop. Are you going to acknowledge
that I was smoking or that I stopped?
Both. Either one. Your pick.
It's been acknowledged.
Okay. But essentially, you're improperly passing them.
Technically,
right?
I'm not. Technically, I'm not.
Okay.
Because
so here's the thing. Here's what you can't do, right? If someone has the right of way, in other words, they're in front of you, they have the right of way. You can't just go around them because you want to go faster or do the turn before they do. That's improper passing.
Because they're waiting.
And you can do it on the left or you can do it on the right, but it is improper passing. It's not just discouraged, it's a moving violation.
They're attempting to take a left. That parking spot is not all the way up to the end of the intersection.
Sir, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a car in front of you at a stoplight has the right of way, not you, right? Because they're in front of you. You can't go around them by using a lane that's not a lane of travel. That's improper passing. Whether you do it on the shoulder or whether you do it in the oncoming lane, either way, you can't just pass up that car. They're in front of you. They have the right of way. You don't know whether they're turning right or going straight or turning left. They haven't decided yet because the light's red.
The indicator determined that they were turning left. That's why I shot to the right. It's a safe.
And went around them.
No, went beside them. They were halfway out into.
How is that not going around? Well, we can argue semantics. Mr. Michaelick, What you did is an
Mahalik,
improper
sir.
pass on the
Mahalik.
right.
Mahalik.
Mahalik. Okay. Well, you didn't correct me before now, so I was assuming I said it right. Mr. Mahalik, I would find you responsible on this citation. You do have a right to go to formal hearing. To do that, you must do two things. One is you must ask for that within 7 days of today's date. Your window of opportunity closes after 7 days. And two, you must come in and post a cash bond in the same amount as the fine to guarantee your appearance at formal hearing. Do you understand your rights on appeal?
This was the appeal pretty much, right?
No, sir. This is informal hearing. And then you would have a right to go to what's called formal hearing in front of the district court judges with the prosecutor's office. But to do that, in other words, to say, I don't agree with me finding you responsible, you'd have to do two things. One is you'd have to ask for that within 7 days. And two is you'd have to come in and post a cash bond in the same amount as the fine to guarantee your appearance. Do you understand those rights?
I don't understand why I'm being ticketed when I see multiple people do it every single day. That's
Sir,
what I don't understand.
If a whole bunch of people rob the bank and then you rob the bank, that doesn't mean you're allowed to rob the bank. Right?
Good thinking. Good thinking. If everybody jumped off a bridge, would I jump off a bridge too?
No, sir. That is
that one, right?
That is a lousy analogy. That would be what a not smart person would say.
So was yours.
Because
yours was
that's not the same thing. One is breaking a law, and if you see everybody else do it, you're allowed to do it. The other one, jumping off a bridge,
I don't feel like
is just kind of a dumb example to come up with. But we're all set here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll bring your fucking money, greedy bastards.
All right.
Are you done?
Yes, sir, unless you want to be held in contempt of court.
What?
For the language you're using in court on the record.
They had to hunt me down over 1.5 miles and run up on me to give me the ticket that I performed a safe maneuver on. That don't make sense to me.
Because you may call it a safe maneuver, but it is a traffic violation.
If it wasn't,
we're all set, sir.
If it was.
Thank you. Thank you, officer. They're not always like that. Is that your first one?
It is my first one.
It's not usually like that. Don't worry. Thank you. I'm going to release you.
Thank you.
All right. So everyone is here to be arraigned on some traffic matters. We're going to leave you all in at the same time. So please just sit quiet till we're talking to you about your case. But just go ahead and get started. Get you out of here. Mr. Farr, are you able to hear me?
I am.
Okay, I'm going to read this to you. Make sure you know what we're talking about. This says that on or about January 16th of the year 2020 on, I don't know, looks like could be 61st Street there in Gunplain Township, that you were driving while license suspended. That is a misdemeanor, is punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fines and costs. Understanding that charge, do you wish to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty at this time?
Plead of guilty.
All right. Anybody force you or threaten you to make you plead guilty?
No, sir.
And are you pleading guilty to this because you believe you are guilty of this?
I do not recollect the event from as long ago as it was. So.
You get pulled over for driving here in Allegan County around that date and time I read to you?
Yes.
And at that date and time, you're not contesting that the Secretary of State had you as either suspended or revoked?
Correct.
All right. So I do find that that is a factual basis upon which I can accept your plea, and that your plea is knowing and voluntary. It would just be fines and costs at this point. What we mean by that is it's $250 fine. With that is $200 statutory cost, crime victims' rights fee is $75, state costs of $50. Looks like you have one bench warrant of $75. That would mean it's $650 altogether, but it looks like you might have a cash bond up, provided that that was actually you paying that cash bond. They'll just sort of take that right off the top and you'll be down to $350. I'm going to write right on here, you have 90 days to pay that. If you need more time than that, that's okay, but you have to call the court separately and ask to go on a payment plan, all right?
Okay, thank you.
But you are all set, thank you. Mr. Hernandez, you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
It says that on or about May 11 of this year on 118th Avenue there in Ganges Township, that you had a driving while license suspended. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fines and costs. And you also, from that same date and time, have a speeding citation. That is not punishable by any amount of jail time, but it is punishable by additional fines and costs. Understanding those charges, do you wish to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty to those charges at this time?
Guilty.
Anybody force you or threaten you to make you plead guilty?
No, sir.
And are you pleading guilty to this because you believe you are guilty?
Yes.
Were you operating a motor vehicle here in Allegan County on the date and time I read to you?
Yes.
And at that time, the Secretary of State had you as either suspended or revoked?
Yes.
So I do find that that is a factual basis upon which I can accept your plea and that your plea is knowing and voluntary. It is just going to be fines and costs today. What we mean by that is $250 fine. With that is $200 statutory costs. Crime victims' rights fee is $75, state costs of $50. So it's a total of $575 on the driving while license suspended, and it is $130 on the speeder. I gave you 90 days to pay all that. Like I said before, though, if you need more time, that's okay, but you have to call the court and ask for a payment plan. But you're all set, sir. You can go ahead and go.
Alrighty. You guys took my plate away. How do I go about getting it back?
Took your what?
My plate. Well, the truck is under my wife's name, so how is she able to get it back?
So you have to contact the law enforcement agency that you had contact with.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
All right. Mr. Rath, you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
This says that on May 13th of this year on I-196 there in Ganges Township, that you had a phone with you while driving. That is not a misdemeanor. It's not punishable by any amount of jail time, but it is still a traffic citation punishable by up to $200 in fines and costs. Understanding that, do you wish to admit responsibility for fines and costs or deny responsibility? We have sent you for a hearing.
Yes, sir. I admit to responsibility.
All right. So there's a $100 fine. It's got $40 in state costs, $60 in statutory costs, or $200 altogether. I'm going to write right on here. You have 30 days to pay that. You can either wait till you get your letter from court in the mail and then return payment with it, or if you wanted to, as soon as now, you could call the district court and make arrangements to pay that. But you're all set with me. You can go ahead and go.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
You too. Mr. Redding, you able to hear me?
Yes.
This says that on May 12th of this year on Lincoln Road there in Heath Township, that you had a phone with you while driving. Understanding that it's a citation punishable by fines and costs, you wish to admit responsibility or deny responsibility and set for hearing.
I'll admit responsibility.
That is a $100 fine, $40 with state costs, $60 statutory costs, or $200 altogether. Same thing, 30 days to pay. You can wait for your letter, or you could call the district court and make arrangements to pay, but you're all set with me.
Okay.
And
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Simon, you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
This says on May 11th of this year on US 131 there in Door Township that you had a driving while license suspended. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fines and costs. Understanding that charge, do you wish to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty to that charge at this time?
Guilty.
Anybody force you or threaten you to make you plead guilty?
No, sir.
And are you pleading guilty to this because you believe you are guilty of this?
Yes, sir.
Were you operating a motor vehicle here in Allegan County on that date and time I read?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, did the Secretary of State have you as either suspended or revoked?
Yes, sir.
So I do find that is a factual basis upon which I can accept your plea and that your plea is knowing and voluntary. It would just be fines and costs at this point. And what we mean by that is $250 fine. With that is $200 in statutory costs, crime victims' rights fee of $75, and a state cost of $50 for a total of $575. I gave you 90 days to pay that. If you need more time, like I said, it's okay, but you got to call the court yourself and ask for a payment plan. All right.
All right.
You're all set, then you can go ahead and go.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more crazy court hearings like this one.